I would like for you.
Just so you know, you set up your question. It takes forever. I go in and edit it so it doesn't seem like it's 10 hours for you to set up your question.
Well, guess who's going to take even longer now today?
Okay. I'm not going to edit it. People
I'm
can
going to
see.
be like a cooking blog, and I'm going to have 16 paragraphs of background not related to the recipe. That's what you're getting today. All right, you ready? As a boy growing up in South Carolina, here's what I learned from my dad. Right? No. So we've talked a lot of our topics lately have been about having a teenage daughter and responsibilities and all the stuff that she's coming on. And lately, you and I, maybe more me than you, I don't know, have started to notice that she's struggling with the challenge of all the responsibility, right? Not struggling, but she's tired. She's trying to figure out her day. She's balancing a lot of stuff. How do we, as parents, and I'm looking at the number one offender on the other side of this coin.
Didn't you ask a question similar to this? Okay, I'll wait for the question. I'm jumping ahead.
Maybe I did. Did I?
Just go.
How do you teach balance to your kids?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. See, you don't know what's in my head. Yeah. How do you teach balance to your kids as someone who is horrible at maintaining work-life balance? Not naming names, not pointing fingers. 50% of the people in this room are the worst human being alive at work-life balance.
See, I don't believe in work-life balance.
Oh, snap. Right back at me. All right. All right. Let's do this then.
Because I am 100% in work or I'm 100% not at work. Actually, that's not true.
That is absolutely not true. Like, you just lied as your answer.
Okay, I'm just 100% at work. But I that's how I think it should be. When we're 100% at work and 100% at...
Okay, but that's attention and focus.
I don't know. I just don't know.
Okay, but let's talk it through because I think this is important. So for the people that haven't met my multi-titled wife, which in itself should be a hint about why she struggles with this, she does not balance it well. You, from the second you're awake to the second you pass out, not go to sleep, you pass out, you've got work on the mind. It is a massive component of your day.
Okay, but to be fair,
and then I don't mean this to pick on, like, I'm not, I absolutely don't want to pick any, but I think it's important to set the stage that.
Yeah, no. And I do think, like, now that I'm thinking, so yes, work definitely consumes a lot of things, and I have a hard time going on vacation. I don't think I've talked about this before. I've never had a day, even Christmas, where I don't work because I'll work until people are awake. But when I'm on set, I am on set. I'm not thinking about work. I am on set doing my work there.
Okay.
When I work out, I am working out. Like, I'm giving it my all. So I do work out every morning.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
do you think you apply the same dedication and focus to family time? This is not how I expected this to go, but this is fascinating off the bat.
Why? Why is it? What's fascinating about it?
Do you think that you apply the same compartmentalization and focus to family time?
I try to.
Okay. And that's fair. And I'm not looking to pick on you.
And I am trying to, like, there's times. So where it gets tricky is when the girls go and say, okay, I'm going to go check the neighbors.
Yes.
Go play with the neighbors. Totally. I'm going to go downstairs. I just want to read. That's where I start struggling. Should I now work because they're gone? But if, Willow says, hey, do you want to play a game? Absolutely. Let's go play a game. And I'm in the game. I'm not thinking about work. Right. So yes.
Okay.
Where it gets blurry is, like, if we want watching a movie or TV or stuff, I'm like, well, we're not really engaging anyways. Although I have been trying to be better. I haven't been working. So yes, I am trying to be very conscious of, okay, everybody's awake now. I don't want to pull out my computer. I do feel bad. I have no problem being on my computer until everybody wakes up.
Yep.
Right. Like on the weekends and stuff like that.
So we'll get back to the original question in a second. Do you think you already kind of shut this down? How do you think someone should set up a balanced lifestyle? Or maybe a better way of putting it is, how do we teach the kids to realize when they need to shift the balance? Maybe that's the way to look at it, because everybody is going to be different.
And
right?
it is like, I know I'm not the best role model. And I do
babe,
think
you do your best. Like, you try.
I think I mean, modeling is a big piece of it. But the thing for me is I love the work that I do.
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
And so, and that's the conversation that I have with Maya. She just even said it the other day, actually, how I'm lucky because I get to choose kind of the work that I want to do. So even though I'm working, like on weekends, I'm making sure I'm not report writing. I'm not doing your other stuff. I'm doing the creative stuff, right? Putting together presentations or working on my other podcast, or so it's more the creative stuff. So I do try to create that. And I will admit my piano playing has gone out the window, but I have tried, I always talk about our developmental tasks. It's important to read every day. We absolutely do that, right? We read, all of us read every day for
a bunch of big brains,
or sometimes hours and hours. I do try to do something creative every day. Again, that has been wishy-washy, but I have my little book where I do my drawings or whatever. That usually just turns into hours if kids do it with me. Try to do outside time every day, right? So I am trying to still hit those buckets, and the girls are seeing me do that. They see me work out every morning, so the things that are important to me, and I think that's the thing, is what are the values, what are important. Where we're lacking is the fun family stuff. I think that's...
Yeah, we've touched on that before.
Yeah, we totally have. Okay. So how do we teach it? I think a lot of it is balance, identifying what's important, our values. And I think Maya knows she hates school. If she could, she'd drop out right now, but she knows to get to where she wants to go, it's a necessary step. And so she's looking at that, right? And with work, she knows she's tired, but man, that kid is so, I don't know what the word is. I mean, dedicated, but loyal, trustworthy, dependent. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the word.
Like dependable, you mean?
Dependable. Yeah. She didn't want to go. And we're like, hey, we can call him sick. Like, you are exhausted, because she has been on the go every single day since she started working, between games and practice. And sometimes she's working until 8 and then going right to the rink for 8:15 for a practice or whatever. So I was like, man, you could use a break. But she's like, no, it's too last minute. So I'm seeing these great traits in her emerge, and just sort of this independence. And she was assertive today. She's like, no, I booked this weekend off. I already booked it, so.
So I guess for me, and you kind of touched on it. So you're right. I've seen the same traits. I'm impressed with, in a short amount of time, she finds the positive in work. She likes her job. She likes who she works with. She doesn't like that it makes her tired or takes her away from reading and whatever. But I agree. She very much sees the bigger picture when it comes to what it's going to allow her to do. Right. And like, her car just went in the shop this weekend to start some of the big rebuild stuff for her.
Oh, and that's where I was going with the job. She sees that so that she can have her car and do the things she wants to do with the car and 100%. Save for university. And
100%. So she is very much goal driven, like objective driven in that sense. Where I see the potential concern, and maybe this is the way I should have asked the question, is all of those are good traits, right? When she commits, and we've always driven that into their heads. You commit to something, you follow through. You commit to a season of sport, you're doing that sport. You commit to this, you're committing to that. What I find we're trying to teach her now is how to understand where she's at mentally and physically, to ensure that she's making choices, not necessarily out of obligation, but out of balancing everything, because there needs to be a component of her and her well-being. And I think this comes down to, so you and I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but we've talked in the past about all these self-help guys and all these hustle guys, and like, you're going to wake up and you 5 a.m. miracle and blah, 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 blah. As I get older, I realize how much bullshit that is. Right. That is selling a narrative to people that is unhealthy in a lot of ways. Pieces of it, very healthy, right? Dedicate yourself, focus, do all this stuff. But the celebration of sacrifice of everything, right? Your free time, your friendships, your relationships, your physical health, your mental health, all of these things. That is not the message I want the kids to learn, right? But I want them to learn the other positive pieces of it. So I think that's more of where my question is coming from, is now that we're starting to see her exhibit these decision-making situations where she's like, no, I got to go, right? And she's followed through. What should we as parents be doing to ensure she understands how she needs to set it up to take care of all of it? So you touched on it. You have things that you want to try and do. You want to be creative. You want to this, you want to that. Maybe that's more of the question, is how do we as parents create the proper focus of balance on both work, personal, relationship, and whatever the important things in that sphere or that globe is for the kids?
Well, and I think being explicit, we've always talked about values. I think that was one of the very first episodes that we had talking about our values. And for me, like, health is so important. Staying healthy and exercising just for actually all of our well-being is good if I exercise. So I think I just need to be explicit about that. And I think they know that piece. And that's why I work out every day. Right. Yeah. So, well, even today, I didn't work out first thing this morning, but I had just gone to the basement. Mine's like, because she's got a tournament today and she already had a game this morning. She's like, oh, I was hoping to have a nap. I'm like, okay, you have a nap. She's like, no, you got to work out. So she knows how important that is for me. Right. But I think, what skills, so being explicit with how they see us prioritize what's important for us. Right. And so, they have said, why don't you call in sick so that you can come to my game? Like, I missed a game yesterday. I'm very sad about that, but I had appointments, and that's that dependability piece. Right. And I'm letting other people down. So I think if we can explicitly talk about why we're doing the things that we do, because oftentimes it's just not. People, I hear kids all the time, what's the point of life? Because I see my parents go to work, to a job that they hate. They're complaining. They come home. They're miserable. They just watch TV and wake up and they do it all over again. Yeah. And I'm doing it with school, and I don't want to graduate school just to go and do that again. Right. And they're like, just feeling this helplessness and hopelessness. So I think where I am at least fortunate that I've got like sees that I'm doing what I love, but I think that there's a skill deficit there too, right? That a lot of teens just don't have. They don't know how to prioritize. They don't know how to manage their time or anything like that. So I think this is actually going to answer your question possibly. I don't know if you've noticed in my office, the big wall calendar.
No.
Well, I've got a huge wall calendar right on the wall. I don't know how you miss it.
I don't go into your office.
You just went in there to get a chair.
Yeah. What did I look for?
The chair, but you would have had to face the wall to see a huge
because if I was looking at the wall, I wasn't looking for the chair. It's singularity of purpose. Okay. I expanded my view to get the stuff we needed to hang for sound deadening.
And it's huge. It's like a 3 foot by 4 foot calendar. Okay. So I've got it on my wall. Okay. And sticky.
You could honestly have a George Costanza pinup on your wall and I wouldn't have noticed it.
Boy eyes.
No.
Okay. So anyways, and I've got stickies. And so everything that I need to do, I write on stickies. And I think that visual representation of things can be helpful. So if she wants...
Stickies are 3M Post-it notes for anybody listening.
Do people not know what stickies are?
I don't know if that's a word I would use to call them. Sticky notes, maybe.
Sticky notes?
Or 3M Post-it notes, yeah.
3M Post-it? What is that even?
Post-it notes are a 3M thing.
What's 3M mean?
The company. It's like Xerox.
Oh.
Xerox isn't the only copier out there, but everybody calls it a Xerox machine.
I call it a photocopier.
Just like Kleenex. Kleenex is tissue paper.
Or mac and cheese. KD.
Kraft dinner, yeah.
Okay, so anyway, what did you call them?
Post-it notes.
Post-it notes. Post-it notes. I got little Post-it notes. And for everything I do, and I even break it down. So if she's got a test, let's write every step of studying on that Post-it note. We're going to put it up on the calendar. And then she can write in, okay, but in color code. This is math. This is history. This is whatever. This is my music lesson. This is my sports lesson. this is my work schedule. Having that there, she's going to actually visually see it, because I think we're very reactive. It's like, oh my gosh, I had to study all day last night, or not last night for my test today, went straight to work, went straight to a game, exhausted, not thinking about it. Right. And that's how we burn out. But if visually she sees that calendar ahead of time, she's going to see, okay, I can't go to the football game tonight because I actually have to study, because tomorrow night I've got practice and I have to work. And oh my gosh, like, well, even next week, she's got overlapping work and game, right? That she's going to have to choose one or the other. And so she can actually visually see. I think that's the way we do it. And we actually schedule in, okay, where in here, kid, is going to be your physio, because you got to go to physio.
Yeah.
And already she's been putting the physio on the back burner. And I'm like, but that's what's going to keep you in the game, being able to play your games, right? So I think it's really very concrete, and it's going to help her. It's just good skills for breaking down assignments and stuff like that too. So if she can't do it tonight, that Post-it note is coming off and it's going on to tomorrow. Oh, but I'm working. So these two things can't be done tomorrow. I'm going to move them. So she's literally going to see stuff stacking up. That's how I would, in a very concrete way, teach that.
So, and I like that. So in addition to that, how would you have it so that she weighs everything equally to a certain degree? Because what you just described to me doesn't sound like a balanced lifestyle. Oh, I can't go to the football game because I've got to do this, and then I can't do physio because I got to do this, and
I know.
So it was prioritizing all the wrong things.
Totally, yeah.
Not wrong things.
But that's where we sit down and be like, where is physio? You have to be able to schedule physio in here. So to
do that, do you need to identify categories of things and basically say, okay, so, and forgive me if I missed this nuance piece, but so pink is health, and you need to have a health related something once a week or twice a week or whatever, right? Or whatever it ends up being. Like, do you go to that granularity? And then green is like studying, and you got to do that just as it happens. But that mean, like, how do you?
Yeah, like, I think that's what she needs to figure out. I think we can't tell her what her priorities are. One thing, I have admittedly gotten out of this practice, but I used to be so good. I would bookend my days. So I would start my day with my intention, the three most important things that I'd have to do today. One would be a personal thing that I would do. So maybe drawing, or play the piano, or go for a massage, or whatever. And I wouldn't do anything else until those three things were done, or clearly blocked off time.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, I would look back. Where did things go sideways? Did I check email too long? Right? What got in the way of me not completing those three priorities, or that I could have done a little bit better? Go to bed earlier. I mean, that's really the one thing that I'm working on better right now, is sleep, getting enough sleep. And then that will help me inform the next day. So I think it's a day by day.
Interesting.
That's how I would do that. And then she can see, man, I keep putting off physio and putting off physio and putting off physio. The next ones, I'm not canceling for her. That's going to be her responsibility to call them, to cancel them, because then it has to be, oh my gosh, this is the third time I'm canceling physio.
Yeah.
So she's just got to sit down and realize that. But I do, like, she doesn't want to go for a massage, and she's just too busy. It's just too busy. And
go Monday.
I think for her, I think for some kids, and I think she's definitely this kid, she needs to almost also track her battery, because she has her battery drains so fast, just the social, like just being around people all the time.
Yeah, she's like a Roomba, man. She does one lap and needs to go recharge.
Yeah.
100%.
So what would you say?
I mean, all that smart junk, I'd say. That was my answer. For sure. No, it is very, like, yeah, to me, it comes down to you and I both. I've gotten worse over the years.
We both have. Yeah.
Yeah. In I'm not as bad as soon as we leave the house. Like, I don't bring a lot of stuff with me. And again, I'm not taking a shot, but this morning we went to the rink and you had your stuff with you and stayed in the truck and worked while I went in and just hung out. Right.
Yeah.
And so, and that's fine. It works, but it's also why people,
but I came out for the game and I watched the game.
You did. And then
was just that hour
and
of her
then
warm-up.
like the Phantom of the Opera, you disappeared in the caverns again and you were gone. That's why people think we're divorced when we go out in public.
What did it take them, like 6 months? Yeah,
it was like half a season before her mom, the girl's mom, finally asked Maya straight up,
oh no,
why is your dad picking up your mom if they're divorced?
Right.
Which still makes me laugh. But anyways, but those sort of things, but you're right. You are absolutely right in that you do make those breaks, right? Like, and it is noticeable that when the kids come home, you know, unless they scatter, you're there. But for me, work, like I think for both of us, work is still a massive component. Like I've been trying to not have my computer on the main floor anymore because it's an easy slide, right? So for me, I have to go to my desk and actually physically need to do something before I go to do it. And that's just easy. And so I find I'm trying to make sure I have a book around me all the time, because if I'm gonna just chill, I'll just go sit and read, right? Is kind of where I'm defaulting. That said, I don't find I get that many opportunities to do that until the very end of the day, because there's something every night, and any parent understands this, right? You're basically, it's a race between commitments and how you're going to balance it, and who's going to pick this up and who's going to do what. And you know, for us, the sacrifice is leisurely meals and food planning and all the things that in a way would make our life easier. It just simply doesn't work a lot of times because we get so busy, right? And by the time we as a unit, I'm talking as we as a unit, because I think it's interesting. I think that's ultimately where the lessons are going to come from. So it's when I take a look at us as a unit, we sprint until we drop. And so Willow 100% leads the way in battery recharge. Like she prioritizes battery recharge over every other thing she could possibly need to do in a day. And it, as aggravating as it can be when it affects my ability to do stuff around the house, I can't fault her. No, like that true. Kid is living stress-free as much as she can. And part of my frustration is also envy, right? Maya is usually pretty good at doing the things she needs to and then disappearing to recharge. Hasn't been as great lately as she's gotten busier. There's a new balance there she needs to find. And then you and I are just basically flat out until the lights go out, right? So I don't know. I think to kind of come back to your question, I think I need to sit down and maybe figure out more of a structured way of prioritizing things as well, because I tend to, my default when we're busy is just simply what needs to get done. And it's never my stuff, right? It's never my stuff. It's, you know, I mean, obviously I got work and I do my work, but even during work, there's interruptions, right? There's, can you call for my prescription? Can you go get my prescription?
We got to get my prescription.
Right. See, you know, and the unknowns, everybody deals with, like a sick kid or whatever like that. Right. But as soon as the free time component starts, it's always someone else's priority that is put in line first. So it'd be very interesting for me, because there are things I do want to do that I wish I would do, but I don't bother sitting down to build it. So maybe that's the modeling that needs to take a bit more place, is see if I can start emulating the same kind of planning and go from there.
It is tricky though, because I do have things that I'd love to get done. Like I keep thinking of, I just one freezer drawer a month. There's only 3 that I need to get through. And I've been thinking about it for a year. Right. And
freezer drawer, like what?
Just to clean it out. There's like melted ice cream or something in the bottom of one.
Super gross. But
those are the things that go to the back burner, right? Yep. Like the clean house. Like I know we've got a muddy floor. We are like a barnyard downstairs, because Sunny, I think that was last weekend, tracked in mud, and now there's mud everywhere. I'll clean it up today, but
but today's chores day.
It's not been like having the tidy house that I'd love to have. That's just not the priority, because all of these other things right now are more of a priority. And I think that's important too. The lesson is we can't do all the things, and we have to give ourselves a break, because I think that's where the burnout and the stress is. We're trying to do it all. We just can't. We just can't.
And the part of the problem is, this is more of a soapbox moment, but part of the problem is everybody compares themselves to everybody else. And you see those parents that are always there for the kids thing and always make these little things that are cute for the kids to have a snack on, and always this and always that. And it never paints the full picture of, well, they don't have a full-time job, or they don't do these things, the other things that need to get done in our life, and blah, blah. And all the social media stuff that drives that perception of someone else's perfect existence that you're trying to measure up to, right? I am unburdened by that, thankfully.
I would rather sit and read with the girls and focus on connection than have an empty sink. I like having an empty sink.
Oh, I love having an empty sink.
But
yeah, I would agree. I would default to any other, like if we were sitting here and bored, my default is always, let's just chill together. Let's just relax. And even games, I see the value in them sometimes, but like I said last week, I don't like playing games with you guys.
Only who are you smarter than a fifth grader? No, only the trivia stuff.
No. Any game with you guys is like that. Any game. Santorini, 100%. Someone's upset because they didn't get the god they wanted, and then you're being so mean, and why are you coming after me? And you can't do that. I can't put that. It's so stressful to play games with you guys.
That's why I like the cooperative ones.
But even those don't work because you stare at the person like they should know your mind, like, and then they don't do it. You're like, oh, okay. Super stressful playing games with you guys. So reading is my go-to. Okay.
But I do like how when we have our helping hands, like our 10 minutes, let's 10 minutes, everybody, what is it that we're going to do for this 10 minutes, tidy up, help out, and then we can go and chill. That system seems to work rather than.
Yeah, I think it's 10, 10, 7.5, 6, I think are the minutes that are allocated. But yeah, it works. Yeah, I agree with you. I do agree. I think when we all, but again, that all comes down to us sharing the same priority. No different than us sharing the priority that we're going to read together. Mm-hmm. Okay, the priority is we're all going to quickly clean up together, right? We're all going to do blah. Because I think for one of the kids that I'm not going to name, it's always a feeling of, well, how come I have to do it?
Yeah.
Right? As soon as it's we have to do it, it's a little easier to manage.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is the prioritization. So
did I answer your question?
I believe so, Doctor. And you provided valuable, useful information to our audience member.
Great. Fantastic.
Excellent.
Hopefully that's helpful. And it's good for homework.
We really shipped that.
It's good. And I actually give that for homework to people, even my adults who are feeling overwhelmed with everything that they have to do. Because with the Post-its, I say Post-its, like it's movable, right? And you can see it stacking up. I don't know.
Anyway, you can always move the stickies around for sure.
Don't make fun of me.
I'm not. I'm trying to incorporate your words, boojaboos and stuff.
It's helpful. Maya's having trouble with word retrieval. I'm like, see, boojaboo just fits everything. Like,
it's not though, because outside of these four walls, not these four walls, but the family four walls, you sound crazy.
When I say, hey, can you pass me the boojaboo?
Normal citizens don't understand what boojaboo is.
You guys, but you reinforce me because you always know exactly.
Yeah, because we're enablers. We're enablers exactly. To your weirdness. All right, that's it.
Good day.
Good day to you.